Kathy, what was your mindset when we first came together in terms of
I would say, realistic in the fact that there was something that I had issues that I couldn't find the right person. I've been divorced for about 11 years and have dated a fair amount of men, some for a couple of months, some for a couple of years. And I knew they weren't right. There weren't any that I was wanting to move forward with. And I I was stuck and tired of I didn't want to date anymore. I didn't want to date anymore. And that's kind of where I was at. I'm like, I know something's not right and I haven't figured it out. All the other areas of my life feel really good, but in this area, I have not figured it out.
she hadn't figured it out? And listen, Kathy is an educator and a coach, right?
Yes,
So
I am.
coaches need coaches, right? Tell
For
them what you
sure.
coach on, like what you do for a
I
living.
actually am a parent educator. So I actually work with parents with kids birth to 5, and I do coaching, parent coaching, and specifically sleep coaching.
So Kathy's an expert at that. She
Yep.
knows what to do. People can struggle for years with this problem, but Kathy knows what to do.
Right.
But she knows what to do in that, but she didn't know what to do in her love life.
Nope.
So then, and I remember when we did the strategy session, right? Kathy had like a certain mindset, even initially, about investing.
Mhm.
And I stood for her like, are you kidding me? All these years, how many years of dating, how many years of relationships you don't want to put forward, that you didn't want to move forward with, and divorce, and being a single mom, and all the time and all the joy that you're missing out on. I was like, no
Yep.
excuses, right? But in that time when you were feeling maybe a little scared or a little popping back into your head, what did you notice?
I think when I started thinking about all the investments I've made in my kids, in my own education, in my profession, in my business, and all those things. But yet it's been always hard for me to spend money on me, like to get a fitness coach or a nutritionist or, something like that. And when I realized that being truly in love with somebody and sharing my life with somebody is truly what I have wanted my entire life and have been missing it, that's when I finally said, why wouldn't I invest in somebody who can help me get there? And it was a hard sell because I'm not used to investing in myself in that respect. And so, yeah, it was, but best thing I've done.
And that's the point. So when you have a mentor, that mentor can see that you're not congruent with what you really want. And that speaks to true vulnerability and the willingness to feel like you deserve that.
Yeah, that was my big issue, was spending money on myself.
But ultimately, feeling like you deserve because you invest in every other area. But this is that area where it's like you said, it's your biggest dream.
And
Yeah.
it's what makes everything else feel so good, because having a partner is, I don't know, yeah, everybody wants that person, and it's to know that you have a person that always has your back and is always there for you is kind of everything, I think.
It
So
is. And Kathy found that.
I did. I'm very, very fortunate to have found a wonderful, caring man that just, I get speechless and I get choked up just thinking about him. I mean, he wants nothing more than to make my world a brighter place and do everything from running to go get a coffee for me or a chai because the dog pooped on the floor and I was cleaning it up and had to go to my daughter's graduation party. And he's like, you need something. I need to help make it better. I mean, from that to just constant words of affection and touch and everything.
Oh, that is so wonderful. I'm going
Yeah.
to share a picture of you guys. I'm going to share that post because it's so sweet. This is Kathy and her guy.
And
Yeah,
David.
David.
Yep. And it's so cute because he always, wherever we go, he's like, will you take a picture of us? He always asks somebody to take a picture of us, which is just so cute because that's so not, I would say not typical of a male to want pictures, but he always wants a picture of where we've been together. And yeah,
Oh,
he is
so
very, very sweet.
you could see how affectionate he is.
He is extremely affectionate and extremely, I mean, everything. He's kind, he's generous, he is super emotionally available. He's like always telling me how much he loves me and how much he cares about me and how happy he is that we're together. And yeah.
Oh, that is so wonderful. And your kids, how do they feel about it that now you have someone amazing in your life?
They love it. They love it. And they just really see they see how he treats me, especially my sons. I've got a 22-year-old son.
Oh,
And so he's noticed how David treats me and how he talks to me. And really good lesson for him because he didn't get the best example probably from his dad with the way his dad talked to me. And so he's just getting a new picture, I think, of how his mom deserves to be treated too, and how women deserve to be treated. And yeah, and my daughter just thinks he's super nice and fun to talk to and nice to be around and things like that.
oh, it's so sweet. You know, people say, you helped me to find my person, but you really helped four people. Like,
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
And then they will believe and see that love, healthy love really is possible. And
Totally.
yeah, how a man really like, yeah, that healthy love, healthy men do exist. But so what did you notice about when you started dating? Like, how did you meet? Maybe.
um I guess the first thing that I'll say when I started dating, it was your process was really helpful. It helped me feel like I was in the driver's seat, which I kind of was told by other people before that you shouldn't be the driver and you should wait and they should find you. And getting permission, I guess, to say this is a good way to do it is to put them out there. And so I was putting out a lot of messages and things like that. And I'll admit I got frustrated because the people that were responding to, or I wasn't getting as many as responses from the men that I was attracted to. But I would get random likes and emails from people that I wasn't attracted to. And so just ignore that. And if
Totally.
those ones that you emailed don't, or messaged, whatever, don't respond, then that's okay. Just keep going. And then we were finally on a call where I was expressing my frustration around that. And you said, well, let me see your profile. And so you went on and looked at my profile and messaged me back and said, well, where's the whole profile? Where's the one that we wrote together? And I'm like, it's just too much. It's just too long. There's too much stuff in there. And
Right.
I don't want to tell them all that stuff right away. And you said, what are you hiding from? And you said, I thought you wanted to be seen. And that like smacked me so hard. It was like, you're right. I say I want to be seen, but yet I'm hiding because I'm afraid he'll see or read things that are like, oh, I don't like that. Why would she say that? And I'm not going to talk to her and things like that. And so I think that was a Thursday. Friday, I changed my profile to the whole thing. And was back on messaging Friday night, and Saturday morning, this David replied back and said, "Oh my gosh, your profile is amazing. You are so well spoken, and I am just so impressed with your profile." And he asked a million more questions, which I'm like, "Oh my gosh, how could you come up with more questions?" And um, so then we messaged back and forth like a couple times only on Match. And then I said, "Hey, do you just want to talk?" And absolutely. So we ended up talking that night and talked for Saturday night for an hour. And there was just an instant connection. I was like, he is so kind and he's so curious and he asks great questions. And questions I had asked him, he actually gave me a lot of information about him, which was lovely because it was very reciprocal of the sharing. And I said, "What would you think about having coffee tomorrow?" And he's like, "I would love it." I'm like, "Okay." So we met and ended up talking for 2 hours that day. And he continued to text after that the next week. He's like, "Can we get together sometime?" And um, like from that day, we started texting and communicating like all the time. And he was really respectful about, "Do you want to talk?" And at that time, I was still sending messages out because you told me to, and I was still sending messages out and talking to people. And then that next weekend, David and I went out on a Saturday night just for dinner, and which turned into a 5-hour conversation and an enormous amount of vulnerability and tears by both of us, and just lots of sharing. And the connection just got stronger. And then I had coffee the next day with 2 other guys. And it was clear that, yeah,
Yeah.
David was a good man. And so we kept, I kept sending messages out and doing stuff for, I don't know, maybe only a couple of weeks, maybe
Yeah.
even only a week after that, when David and I just kind of said, "Okay, so we're gonna make this. Will you be my girlfriend?" is what he asked. And so then we both went off that, and yeah.
That's
So
beautiful. That's
yeah,
what it is, because everyone needs to know. You just need one. You just need
just
one.
one.
Just
Just
one.
one. Yeah, just
Just
one,
one.
and that's all you want.
That's right. That's all
Yeah.
you want.
One of the things that I think that's stands out for me is that all the check boxes, if you want to say, and the interests and things like that, were not there, but the connection was so deep from the beginning that that's all that really matters. And then, like you've said, and like you and Michael have done, you figure out what life looks like together
Right.
after that. And since then, he's played pickleball. He's met a ton of my friends. He's gone sailing. I've gone to a swap meet and looked at cars and trimmed trees with him and done all that kind of stuff. So um, it becomes a give and take on what's important to each of us. But the connection and the foundation was kind of everything.
That's right. Because people look for all of these interests and attraction, chemical attraction, but really, and don't attraction is very important. Not saying that, but the core values and emotional connection and is really most important for
Yeah.
sure.
It was definitely the emotional connection that brought us together right away. It was like right away.
Right. Because you knew, but you
Yeah.
knew by then how you wanted to feel.
Yep.
Right. So, what's the biggest change that happened within you that allowed you to have someone like David who's so present for you?
You gave me the permission to start thinking about the future of how I wanted things to be, which I had never done before. I had never, like, what would it be like to be married again? And what would it feel like? And what are things that I'd want to do with him? And um, I hadn't allowed myself to dream, I guess, if you want to say, and putting the vision board together of what my future was going to look like was so easy for me after doing all the pre-work that you had us do. And that just gave me so much clarity, truly believing that I am worth it, that I am the prize, and the right man will see me as that, and that trust my gut, and that's what made all the difference. And because of that, then I carried myself differently and my vibe was different, and it just brought him towards me.
So how does it feel now? Like now you get all this affection.
Like I said, whenever I talk about him, I get choked up because yeah, I mean, he fills me up completely, and it, like, everything is just easier. And whenever anything feels weird, we just say, that feels kind of weird, or I'm wondering about this, and we just talk about it.
So what are you most excited about the future?
Oh my gosh, so many things. Yeah, I mean, he's got the house of his dreams, and he kind of keeps planting little things about, like, well, I bought this so that we can sit together out on the couch together, and and I got this, or if somebody wanted to live here, would they maybe want to build a greenhouse? And so there's all that hinting going around that hasn't been explicitly spoken about yet as to what.
Yeah.
I mean, we know this is going forward, and so
Right.
yeah, I mean, I think we're both kind of like, is it too early to talk about that yet? But yet that's what we're feeling.
Totally. That's right. And the dating, because you shared your vision, like even on day one,
For
right?
sure, totally.
Sure.
And I
So
even shared my vision board with him about what I'd like for marriage. And then I also shared with him I've got a whole life vision board, and shared all that with him. And so
that's
he's
right.
super supportive and encouraging, and wants to be a part of all that.
Love it. Love it. And isn't it just so fun to know, like, it's so fun to get the physical touch and the communication and the time spent, time with friends. Yeah,
Yeah, it's been amazing.
I love it.
So thank you, Bari.
So, Kathy, thank you so much for sharing, because
You
that
are
is,
welcome.
we really, really appreciate it.